Welcome everyone to the Maha test of the Mercedes-Benz EQB 350. Now Maha because it is quite comprehensive, but also because it is from Mumbai to Mahabaleshwar, and that means you have a good mix of challenges. Some city chaos of Mumbai and Pune, some highway cruising on the expressway, the uphill drive up to Mahabaleshwar and Panchgari, and of course coming back downhill as well. It is quite the stress test of any EV, but it does show its true colors. Now we are starting right here in Mumbai at the Autocar India office, and well, we're going to come back here after the end of the day and crunch the numbers for you. We started the drive at the crack of dawn, reset the trips, and with battery at 100%, that showed expected range between 364 and 401 kilometers. And of course, eco mode for maximum range. Now the other thing of course is the regen mode. Now because I'm in the city, I'm not going to need too much of a regen because I don't want this thing to cut my momentum and haul me down. So I'm going to have it in D+, which is the most lenient of them all, which means I still get a bit of regen, but I don't have to waste battery gaining back that momentum. Once I'm going downhill, that is when I'll switch to D or D-. As Mumbai was waking up, we swiftly made our way to the Eastern Freeway and reached the Vashi toll, marking our exit from the city. Alright, well, this marks the end of city. We've entered Vashi toll. The kilometer reading is 24 kilometers and the battery state of charge is 94%, so it took 6% for 24 kilometers. Range is currently showing between 350 and 381. However, now we begin our way towards the expressway, and that means a lot of highway driving. We're going to see exactly how that feels. Thankfully, we managed to skip the rush hour traffic, and it was a smooth cruise to the Mumbai-Pune Expressway where the EQB felt at home. Planted, stable and comfortable. Alright, so 1 hour 43 minutes later to be specific, we are at the first toll, the Khalapur toll on the expressway. However, the bigger problem now is the uphill climb, and that is going to notoriously destroy the range. We'll find out after the ghat ends exactly how much has been taken up. Alright, now before we start the ghat, I've had a chance to stretch the EQB 350's legs, and I have to tell you that extra bit of power and torque compared to the EQB 300 that Nikhil drove definitely is noticeable. You have 63 horsepower more and 130 Nm crucially, and that means progress is absolutely effortless. However, there has been no gain in terms of range. It still gets the same 66.5 kilowatt hour battery pack with two motors, one at the front, one at the back. The rear one is a permanent magnet synchronous motor, which is the primary motor of the car that powers the rear wheels, and the front is an asynchronous motor that helps it for added performance. The torque rated at 520 Nm makes overtaking absolutely effortless, but it is also applied in a subdued and linear manner owing to the comfort-oriented nature of this EV. What's good on the EQB 350 are the assistance systems. You have automatic braking, lane keep assist. So these things just basically enhance the overall highway driving experience. A lot of effort is taken away and you are a bit more relaxed as well. And sure enough, as soon as I mentioned relaxing, we got caught in a full-on rush hour style traffic jam that had brought the entire expressway to a standstill. Now as you can see, we are on the Mumbai-Pune Expressway and we are completely halted, and this is where the anxiety really kicks in because you never know what's going to happen. We are moving at a glacial pace now, but these things are something that you can't really plan. 45 minutes of waiting around with the AC on and inching upwards meant the efficiency had taken a hit. Once we managed to crawl out of the mess and back onto the smooth roads, I could use a bit more of that impressive performance. What's also impressive is a 0 to 100 time of just 6.2 seconds and a top speed of 175, which is plenty if you ask me. But what's also nice is the overall highway manners. It is very stable, very planted, and what is even more impressive is the cabin insulation. On EVs especially, you have a lot of road noise, wind noise seeping through, but the EQB does a very good job of isolating you from the outside world, and the overall comfort as a result is quite enhanced. And on long trips, what you absolutely need is a good music system. And this 10 speaker system on the EQB is very, very good, especially when you're driving alone. Music is your only companion, and that this car has sorted out. As we approached the second toll, the long queues were an indication of the heavy traffic activity that got me worried. Well, after that rather relaxing highway cruise after the first toll and that traffic jam, we finally reached the second toll. We've reached Talegaon, and let's do the numbers. So 123 kilometers on the trip. It's taken us 3 hours 12 minutes thanks to that jam. We are averaging 39 kilometers an hour, and efficiency is still a low 5.6 kilometers per kilowatt hour. The battery situation is at 67%. With 270 kilometers of range. Next is entering Pune, and since it is 9:25 right now, we are going to be in peak office traffic. Sure enough, Pune was absolutely unforgiving. A quick check at Mahabaleshwar revealed it is at its peak operating capacity, and the charging slots are occupied as well, which meant long waiting times. So to skip the long queues, I decided to get a quick top up at a Kia dealership that has a 150 kilowatt DC charger. The EQB gets a 400 volt battery that allows it to charge at 100 kilowatt DC, making recharging a quick affair. A 30-minute stop for 27.7 kilowatt hour that costed just 748 rupees. Now it was onwards to Mahabaleshwar with no need to worry about traffic or recharging. The famous Khambatki Ghaat with its swooping corners was fun, but at the cost of range. Well, that was the Khambatki Ghaat. We started off with 217 kilometers and the Ghaat is around 6 kilometers, so it's 223 now, and it has sucked out 14 kilometers of range. So in just 6 kilometers uphill, that's almost double, in fact more than double. And that's what worries me, because coming up ahead are ghats just like this one and even steeper. We got off the highway and turned right to Mahabaleshwar onto even narrower and busy roads. Now, the other advantage the EQB has is that it's not too wide, it's not humongous in size. Even though it is a 7-seater SUV, it still is quite manageable, and especially on these narrow roads, it is definitely an advantage. Now, Mahabaleshwar is just under 40 kilometers, and well, I have 76% of range, so that's plenty, which means I can, or rather I do have the liberty to switch into sport and enjoy some instantaneous acceleration. I mean, this never gets old with an EV, does it? That instant torque. If the EQB 300 was just about enough, the 350 is a proper hoot. As I reached Mahabaleshwar, my recon was correct. Summer vacations meant the crowd was in huge numbers, and since EVs are quite common now, the charging stations were busy too. However, even though I did manage to find one, it was a bit pointless to stop. Now the range I have is 251, that is without AC. The battery capacity is at 55%. With AC, we have 223 kilometers max. But you know what? I'm not going to charge now. I'm going to go all the way back to Mumbai, and full faith in the recuperation. 3 levels. Alright, we are on our way out of Mahabaleshwar. It is a big gamble this, but I believe in these two pedals. These are of course the Regen. The EQB gets 3 Regen levels between D+, D and D-, D- being the strongest. and I'm gonna make full use of that because the drive now is all the way downhill, and that means a lot of braking, a lot of energy that will be recovered from the brakes. And well, I'm just hoping for the best. I'm hoping there isn't any traffic, because that is what will absolutely finish this. Now, while the regen levels on the EQB work really well, what is a bit of an issue is the braking, because they just don't feel natural. The first half is very, very unpredictable. You don't have that strong stopping power, and that does make you nervous. As we got back down and onto the plains, the range had already overtaken the distance to office, reducing the stress and giving me time to appreciate the features. Because compared to the EQB 300, which Nikhil drove a few months ago, this is exactly the same. So you get the same interior, you get the same screens as well. It's an NTG 6, which is not the latest. The NTG 7 is the latest infotainment system of Mercedes, which means you have that center portrait style screen, you have wireless Apple CarPlay. This, however, does not get that, but it still gets a lot of modern stuff. The MBUX is pretty packed and loaded as well. And like we know, there are some pretty good features on offer. It truly is a well-appointed cabin with all the features you expect of a car in this price point. Nothing has been skipped apart from front ventilated seats. Seat Kinetics, on the other hand, is something that works brilliantly. It isn't a massage system, but it makes small adjustments to the seat bolsters, lumbar adjust and backrest, so you are never in the same position for too long. You barely notice it, but the end result is a back that isn't stiff after a long drive. As we approached Pune, the range was dropping like an IV drip, and as luck would have it, we managed to find ourselves in peak hour traffic yet again. We are trying to enter Pune, but the inevitable has happened. We are stuck in an absolute mash of a jam and with nowhere to go. But more importantly, on the range side, battery is at 38%, if I'm not wrong. Yes, 38%, and range is 172. That downhill stretch really did help, and the distance to office now is 157. So we are actually quite safe. But if this goes on, and I don't know how long this is going to go on because it is quite red here, then things might get a bit tricky and a bit last minute as well. Somehow avoiding scratching the EQB between the sea of bikers and onto the expressway for the home stretch, the camera crew was snoozing in the back seats, music masking any outside noise, and the car just wafting along. Thankfully, Mumbai was easy on us with minimal traffic entering Vashi and the freeway, and with the reserve battery charge of 9% and 40 kilometers in the bank, we made it back. Not once did I shut off the AC and suffer, and not once did I hold back on performance. Drove it like I would any other ICE car, and it worked just fine. Range anxiety isn't really an issue anymore, but it is the speed of charging. We are adopting to EVs at a rapid rate, and even though the charging infrastructure is catching up equally fast, the charging time is the only challenge now. Once that comes down, the EV future looks effortless. As for the EQB, there is very little to complain about it, as it went through the full test year. At Rs 77.5 lakh, it is also in a space of its own. The Volvo XC40 Recharge is cheaper but doesn't have the practicality of the third row or the features, and the Audi e-tron and Jaguar I-Pace are substantially more expensive to buy, leaving the EQB in a sweet spot that will appeal to a lot of potential buyers. The 300 was good, but the 350 is simply better and a lot more convincing as the only car in your garage.